Hello, welcome to episode 74 of the Stress Knits podcast. I'm Stacy, also known as Stress Knits Yarn on Instagram, and Stacyelstone on Instagram if you want my more personal life. Stress Knits Yarns for more business podcasty stuff. I need to be better about posting on that. Hi, welcome. If you are new, hi. I am a almost 25-year-old living in Metro Detroit with my husband and our daughter and our pug puppy who's roaming around. My daughter is out there in the living room swinging. I have the door open so I can see her, and I have one of my playlists on Spotify playing with all of my cozy music. So Fleet Foxes is playing right now, in case you're curious. So we're gonna have a little bit of a real chat at the beginning of this. I think it's really important. And also, if you're returning, hi, welcome, I love you, and you know that, I hope so. I have my iced coffee. One of my goals this year is to drink less coffee out, or at least pay for less coffee out. So I'm drinking Stoke Cold Brew, which Jacqueline of Brooklyn Knit Folk got me addicted to, and it's delicious with just a little bit of sugar and a little bit of half and half. It's wonderful. So I'm going to hold this because I'm going to feel less awkward talking if I'm holding on to something. I keep trying to figure out what song is playing. It's a Milk Carton Kids song, in case you're wondering. So this week, it's been a week, right? The knitting community is having a much needed conversation about race and inclusion. And I did some talking in it, but I don't, as a very, very white woman, I feel like I need to listen more, which is a privilege in itself, and also I feel really passive about it, which I don't like, which is why I started posting things. And essentially, if you don't know, you were living under a rock because it was everywhere, which is wonderful, and I think it's the best thing that's happened. There was a post by the creator of Fringe Supply Company, who honestly I didn't know existed until this whole thing happened, because I just knew Fringe was a U.S. company and that they treated their workers well, and that's all I really cared about. I didn't care about who owned it, and I should have looked further into that. But she made a post and talked about going to India, and she said some things that weren't great. But the problem that I had with it, and I think what most people had with it, is when people pointed it out, that it wasn't, she didn't respond well to it, and I'm just going to leave it at that. If you want to know more, there are resources everywhere, including the Fringe Association blog, where she's apologized and I think she's given some names to people to look at if you're curious. I haven't really checked on it because I've been sick, which is not an excuse. But when you're sick and your baby's sick and your husband's getting sick, it's a little rough. But I sound a lot better than last week. So I just want to put a blanket statement here that you matter, no matter who you are. I want this to be a safe space. I want this to be a place where we can talk about really hard things and have really constructive conversation. I want to be a person that if I ever do anything or say anything that it's not great, that I can respond kindly and I can respond without feeling defensive, which I understand the impulse to feel defensive when you're being called racist, essentially, because that's not a good word. You don't want to be associated with that, but you need to take a step back and look at this from another person's perspective, and I think that we can all stand to do that more. I think we can talk more about this. We can be more inclusive. You can follow ways. A lot of white people have been asking, what can I do? I don't know what to do. One, it's not POC or BIPOC, which is a new term I learned. I didn't know what that meant. But it's a more inclusive term for POC. So, but it's not their job to tell you what to do. So, the Me and My White Supremacy workbook, I forget who it's by. If I can remember, it won't be up right when this uploads because I have to take care of my daughter. But tonight when Doug gets home and he can hang out with her for a little bit, I'll put links to that below. It's free, but you should definitely support her Patreon if you haven't already, if you're using that, or if you just think it's a really good tool for other people, because she did it for free. That's amazing. So I think it's a she. So you can do that. You can follow more people of color, but don't do it to like tokenize them, and don't do it, I don't know, just be smart. Don't just buy things because other people have them. Buy things that you like. Support people of color's businesses if it's stuff that you like. We need to stop worrying about what's cool and focus on stuff that we like and really supporting each other. And I think I've definitely fallen short of that, and that's something I really want to correct this year. Yeah, because I'm raising a daughter. I want her to be strong, but I also want her to be very aware of her privilege, just looking how she looks, even though she has some Hispanic heritage because of Doug. But she's very white presenting, so I want her to understand the privilege that comes with that, and that even though Oliver is an Hispanic name, that it's still very white. So I've been doing some research myself. As I come across materials, I will let you know, including this baby book that my best friend Beth got me. Hi, Beth. It's on here right now. I didn't think I was going to show this, but I always prop it up on books. But she got me this baby feminist book, and it is a very inclusive book. So like Ruth Bader Ginsburg, Mae Jemison, Frida Kahlo, Dorothy Pittman Hughes and Gloria Steinem, the Obamas, like, I'm obsessed with it. So which one's one of my favorites? I'll do the Obama one. So it's like before they championed women and girls around the world, Michelle and Barack Obama were babies. So it's getting her comfortable with really important historical figures of all backgrounds and all colors, which I really want her to be an intersectional feminist and not just a white feminist. So, yeah. And then the other thing I want to say is that I've been a huge Fringe supporter for a very long time. And I've struggled back and forth with how I feel about it and where I've landed with a lot of conversation with people that I love, including my husband, who has supported my addiction to Fringe supply bags, my field bags. I only have one in here. That's weird. I'm going to continue to use them. I don't think I'm going to purchase any more at the moment, unless something changes drastically. I'm going to keep using them because they all have a very sentimental value to me. For example, this one I got on my honeymoon. It's my first Fringe bag, and I got it on my honeymoon because I've loved them for a long time. I love simple bags, and also like this bento bag. So, I will keep using them. I'm not going to highlight them as much as I usually do. And that's just kind of where I'm at, because I think it's important. I don't know, I think it's important to realize that there are plenty of, I'm looking around the room, there are plenty of things from a lot of companies that I probably shouldn't support, but like I've bought from them. So like I don't want to throw it away because that's wasteful. I don't want to donate it because then somebody else is going to have to wrestle with the implications of it. And also, like, the Fringe bags are made by, I think it's women. I think they're all women. In good conditions for a good wage. And Nashville. And I think that it's very important. So Karen Templer aside, I'm still going to use my Fringe Bags, but just not support by buying more, which is good because I had money set aside for a town bag at Vogue. And it's $100. Like, it's a lot of money. And so I will find it elsewhere. And I don't have it. It's by my bed. But the pleister bags, I think that's more of the route that I'm going to go. So, it's 10.5 minutes of that, but I think it's very important to acknowledge. I think it's very important that this is happening. I'm very happy that's happening, but also I hope all of you have taken care of yourselves. If you are POC or BIPOC, I hope you're taking care of yourself and taking some time away and doing something for you, whether it's knitting or something else, that you took breaks, that you took care of your mental health, and along with everybody else. Like, it's really important that we're having these conversations, but they're very triggering, they're very hard. Grappling with your privileges, it's difficult. So I hope, so just be better to each other. That's all we can really do. I realized the only thing I've been working on is right over there. So enjoy my gray wall while I grab it. Okay. I love this song so much. It's The Night We Met by Lord Huron. It's so good. It's actually my No Trail to Follow colorways inspiration. Okay, so I have a finished object. What? I do. I have not woven in the ends and it's still damp. But I finished my night shift. Oh, I love it so much. So this is the Night Shift by Andrea Mowry. Knit out of 6 skeins of Spin Cycle Dream State, which is their worsted weight yarn. I'm going to put it on real quick. It is damp though, so. But I am going to be rocking this in New York, along with my What the Fade. It's the first time I put it on, I just pull it off the blocker. I'm obsessed. The only part that I wish I would have done differently and color managed a little bit better is this bright yellow. But I think it works. I love it. And I have plenty of leftovers to like put it in a hat or use it for maybe another throwback if I choose to do that. I really want to knit a throwback like Rachel of Spin Cycle knit, where she just knit it in the round and knit a cute little cropped sweater. I think I'm very interested in that. So maybe in the fall. Because there are other things that I want to knit on. But that is out of my life. That was my December cast on for my Year of Andrea. And I finished it at the beginning of January. So I've been figuring out what to cast on for my January Year of Andrea. If you're new, my Year of Andrea is something I came up with while I was in the hospital for a month with my daughter. I was in there 2 months before she was born, and not 2 months, 2 weeks before she was born, 2 weeks after. And yeah, I was looking through my queue and I was like, I have a lot of Andrea Mowry patterns that I really want to knit. And so I decided from July of 2018 to July of 2019, I will be casting on at least one of Andrea Mowry's designs and just trying to get 12 done in the year. And Penny and Spirit was playing. Oh, so good. Anyway, I thought I was going to cast on the Quill Hat, which is really cute. It has like a chevron motif with ribbing. And I was going to knit it out of a skein of stone wool that I bought before the new year. I think I bought it in like November. And I kept staring at this bag that was housing 12 skeins of Knit Picks Stroll. So 6 skeins of Stroll Tweed and Oyster Heather and 6 skeins in Flagstone Heather. And I have wanted to knit a weekender since it came out. I I couldn't justify buying the Brooklyn tweed because Brooklyn tweed is expensive. And I just bought, or when I decided that I wanted to knit it, I just bought my Rodin sweater quantity and Doug's sweater quantity of Brooklyn tweed. So it was like a hefty little purchase there. So I was like, I don't feel comfortable buying a third sweater quantity of Brooklyn tweed, so I'm going to go with Knit Picks because I love it. And two of my favorite knitters, Candace of Pin Feathers and Pearls and Rachel of Hey Sister, knit theirs in this yarn in different colors, but they just did it and held it double, and it's a dream. It's so good. So this is the wrong side. I'm not gonna lie to you, I struggled real hard with which side of this that I'm going to wear and I'm gonna wear presenting. I don't know what I'm saying right now. Yeah, so because I love the way this looks, and honestly I might, if with leftovers, I might knit Eliza a cardigan with this. But then yesterday, after I finished my second ball that was held double, I flipped it inside out. Flipped it inside out and stood really far away from Doug. And I love it. Oh, I love it so much. I'm about 3 or 4 inches from separating the front and the back and working the arms. But, I was trying to get this done for Vogue, but I don't think that's going to happen. Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen. But I love it. I love it so much. I love it so much. I definitely think I'm going to knit probably at least one more of these for my wardrobe. Because the thing that I really want to do is focus on creating a me-made wardrobe that is very intentional. And so I think The Weekender by Andrea Mowry is the perfect intentional thing because I have so many sweaters that are in that style. It's ridiculous. So because I don't have much content, I'm going to go through some of my WIPs that are languishing. Some of them, I'm going to finish all of them. But so a lot of them are socks, and I'm just not into sock knitting right now, and 3 of them are socks for Doug. So, yikes. So let's do socks. I'll start with my socks. I cast these on for the Fluorite Cal for Andrea Mowry, and honestly, I'm only going to finish one sock. I don't want to finish another one. And I'm just going to have it as a shop sample. This is the Fluorite sock. Again, I love it. It's gorgeous, going from like this peach to mint. But I'm not in love with it. And I'm so just not into knitting socks right now that I just don't want to knit another one. So I literally have to do toe decreases, and that's it. So this will be finished soon. But yeah, it's just going to be a standalone. Yeah, so there is that. And then Doug's socks. So I've had this done forever. This is Legacy Fiber Arts and the Will You Be Mine that they gave me at Vogue Knitting Live 2017 when Doug and I went when we were on our honeymoon in New York. So Sue and Chelsea gifted me this. I knit him one sock. Here's the second. This is my purse knitting adjacent. I think I'm going to start bringing this into my therapy sessions and just knit on it. So I need to knit the cuff because I have my next session tomorrow. So yeah, I just need to finish the cuff and then I can just zoom down the foot while I'm talking and listening. So there's that. And then in my Fawn and the Fox bag, I honestly think this is one of the only print bags I'll ever have again. I really want to go more into the linen canvas project bag thing because I think it's just more my style, but this is, oh, I love it so much, and it's made by Laura of the Fondants. Yes, so I jumped on the sock tube bandwagon, and I had Carry a Freckled Whimsy. I purchased like 2 sock snakes or whatever, and this is my Sweet Disposition colorway. I want to have these done for him by my SSK show. I need to resend my contract because they still haven't gotten it. That's the trouble when you send things around Christmas and then they don't get it. It makes me happy I didn't send the check in the mail. So I need to resend that today or tomorrow. Probably tomorrow. And I have to go talk to the post office because they lost a package. So, yeah, this is my Sweet Disposition colorway on my favorite base, and I love it. I love it so much. It's going to be really cute, and I'm pairing that with dark gray for, I think, toes and heels, and then I don't know what I'm going to do for the cuff, but we'll see. So there's that, and then the other thing that I have in this bag that I'm actually working on, I have 2, obviously, but I am knitting Felici socks. These are in Chickadee knit picks, and I'm using Madeline Tosh Twist Light in the Astrid Gray colorway because I had like an extra skein and a half after I knit my featherweight cardigan in college, so I have plenty of that colorway, and it just goes very well with it. So there's that. Those are all the socks for Doug that are happening anytime soon. I told him, like, I'm just going to give them to you as I finish them. I'm just not a sock knitter right now, and that's fine. So there's that. And then I have some hats. So the first one, nothing exciting. I blow my nose. I haven't made much progress on it since you saw it last, if any. It's just a knit picks. This is the knit picks episode. I love knit picks. Wool of the Andes in Bouquet Heather. So there's that. And then the hat that I really want to finish, maybe in time for Vogue. I don't know. It is my Rag hat by Woolfolk in their Woolfolk Flet. My mid-row. I am mid-row, like a monster. But yeah, it's the weird, like, textured yarn, and I just wanted a skein of it because I knew I'd never really knit anything else with it besides a hat, and I saw this hat and I was like, I need this hat in my life. And I agree, I still need this hat in my life. I think I would totally knit this again, but I think I would do it in the, like, creamy pink-y periwinkle colorway. Yeah. So, but here it is. And then this is the yarn. I forget what it's called. But I love it. It's so soft and squishy. Those are my hats. And then I have one more thing. The shawl that will never end. And it is my Birds of a Feather, which I cast on in September for my Year of Andrea. You guys, I just want this shawl off my needles. I might bring this as plain knitting. So, like, I'm decently far. Nowhere near the end, though. I'm still on my first skein. And there's, like, 1.5 in it. So, I turned it. So, I'm decreasing the one side or whatever. But I'm so over it. It's just a lot of knitting, and I realize that I love mohair held with something else. I don't love it by itself. Yeah, but this is out of my hand-dyed yarn, Stress Knits yarn in the Succulents colorway, in my singles base and my halo base, which is our 70% superwash merino, 30% not superwash merino, 70% kid mohair, 30% silk. I love it, and I'm going to wear it a lot. It's just such a good color, but I'm over it. Here it is, and yeah, I love it. And those are all my WIPs. Hey, Esther, don't take the chair, baby. Esther, don't do that. Thanks, love. She's trying to make room for herself, which there's plenty of room on that chair. Okay, so with that, Stress Knits Yarn News. I'm going to have a shop update soon, but I'm having a shop update next week. It's worsted weight, a few fingering, I think, maybe like 3 or 4. That's it, until February, because we're moving. I still can't believe it's real. I didn't think it was gonna happen. Doug's parents had this opportunity to buy a house across the street from where they live now. A Catholic church went out of business, essentially, and the living quarters it's a house, and they decided to buy it because Doug is number 3 of 7 children, and the older 3, so Doug and his older brother and sister are all married, and all of us have kids, and the older 2 have 2 kids. So there's a lot of us. There are a lot of us. So when we're all cramped and like in a really tiny space, it's rough. Yeah. So Doug and I have the amazing opportunity to rent their home. So while we save up for a house of our own, we get to live in Doug's childhood house and spruce it up, make it cute and homey, and get it ready to sell in a few years. So I have no words, but we're moving before the end of February because we have to be out of this place, our apartment, February 1st, and I'm going to New York next week. But it's good because Doug and I get on each other's nerves when it comes to packing in a very sweet, loving way. But our systems don't match each other's. So like he's taking care of most of the apartment. I'm taking care of Eliza's nursery and all of my knitting stuff and like cleaning. And then he's taking care of everything else. And I'm really glad that I'm not really going to be here when we're moving stuff because we would get in so many fights. We're really not good moving together. It's bad. It's really bad. It's like the one thing we can't do together is move. So we're really excited. I know I've teased it for a while, but the basement is becoming my studio. At least a section of the basement. There's a bedroom down there, and that's going to be where I dye yarn. We're going to get like burners set up and whatever down there. And then next to it will be like my shipping and all of that. And I'll also have a space to learn to set up a sewing machine and keep it up so I can actually learn how to sew this year. I have so many things I want to sew. I keep wanting to ask my friends that sew that I'm going to see next weekend if we could do like a quick sewing thing. So I might text them. Or I'll just wait for them to watch this. Yeah, so we're moving. Yeah, I really have to pee. So I'm going to end this here. And I hope you guys have a wonderful week. I hope if you're in the Midwest and East, I think we're all getting hit with a really big snowstorm this weekend. So stay safe. Stay off the roads if you can. If you are on the roads, be really careful. And enjoy some knitting time. Be kind to one another, and I will see you next week. Bye.